So today is indeed season 10 here in Motorfest, and there's a few things I wanted to talk about here, guys, as I gotta admit, some of the decisions being made in this game really do not make a lot of sense to me, but I also do want to say, though, thank you, Ubisoft, for providing me with the early access of Motorfest. I really am happy I could jump in and experience this game and give you guys my honest thoughts on that, and that's something I really strive to do. I don't really like to just like sugarcoat things or all that. I like to be honest with everything. That way I'm kind of hoping in some way maybe some of these things could eventually get changes or, hopefully make changes in the games. At least I would like to hope so. But a few things I wanted to talk about here with Season 10, guys, that I honestly really cannot get out of my head. Now, we all do know in Season 10 they did end up taking the route of, okay, well, we will now do the drip fed thing again with the playlist events. Now, I do understand people might look at this and go, okay, well, it's kind of cool, Block, because we will have a race to come back to every single week. And you know what? Maybe that might end up working in some ways. But to be honest, guys, I really don't think it actually works like that because you will end up having less content initially on the start of Season 10, okay? And this is something I noticed very early on, though, is the fact that they are drip feeding the events again. Everyone probably remembers this from the luxury playlist. They give you like a race or something a week, and it went on for a few months. And in ways, they might look at this on the live service side of gaming, going, okay, well, be a reason to bring players back in every week, right? And well, to be honest, I don't think that's actually going to work like that because it basically might end up making players play the game even less in a way because you'll jump on guys on the beginning of Season 10, you'll have access to the 4 events in the playlist, and then the super long hour-long race that's also now in there, which how many times do you actually want to do that? And let's hope these servers themselves can actually hold up to do that hour race. Imagine crashing at 57 minutes into that race, bro. Imagine that. But the thing is, though, you have basically those 5 events, and besides that, the only other newest thing I kind of saw in this update, at least for right now, we all do know more stuff will probably end up coming mid-season, some other stuff and all that, I get that, but the main base of the update here for at least a month to a month and a half is basically that right now. Now, obviously, you'll end up getting a race a week, but the thing is, though, it's not necessarily bringing players into the game every week that will probably stay on it, because knowing me, I'll get on, do the race, or what I did last time is I didn't do any of the races until they were all in there. Then I basically went through and did them. And the thing is, playlists can already be done in 45 minutes to an hour most of the time, and then all the content is done, right? Well, this time, you could probably do all 4 of the races in maybe 20 minutes, if that, could be a little bit less. And then once that's done, you might end up doing the hour-long race, and then you're probably going to be looking for what will end up being next there. And to be real, I kind of get a little confused on the thought process behind a lot of these things, as, guys, we are obviously not in the beginning of this game, okay? It is literally coming up to 3 years old in September, and we're still getting weird updates and things like this. I honestly really do not understand it. Why would you end up drip feeding some of the events of the playlist into the game? As, to be honest, for me, it just shows that there's even less content there. And there's really not a lot of stuff going on. I mean, they're basically locking it behind the 4 races, the long race. Then obviously we have the Track Forge thing, which I'll talk about that in a second as well, because I'm a little bit concerned about that entire design, as I'm kind of framing this in the discussion of my mind of the structure of this content is kind of limiting the way I'm getting excited for it, man. I mean, I'm looking at this stuff, I jumped in, went, yo, look at this, and I'm like, oh, it's only 4 races, and then I have the super long hour race, which, to be honest, I'll probably only do that one time to get the Ferrari, and then that's it, bro. I probably will not run that race again, as I really don't see a reason to do it, but also, I bet you players might end up finding that race a little bit boring, okay? I have a feeling that would end up happening if there's not much going on there, or it's not all that exciting to do it, then yeah, it might end up feeling a little bit boring. And speaking of boring, though, I see so many comments around Motorfest talking about how they want new cars in the game, like where's the SVJ, where's the Lexus LFA? And guys, I'm going to say something right now that might end up being a little bit crazy, but also might not sit well with people, and I'm going to have to say it. Guys, new cars will not fix Motorfest, okay? Bringing new cars into the game like an SVJ or a Lexus is not going to fix the fundamental issues with the game, okay? I said it. Because if they added those cars, you still only have one thing of PvP, which is Grand Racing, and so far there is nothing changed with that in Season 10, at least right now. So you have the same game mode we've had for 3 years now, with some added rewards, if you even feel like getting those. And then on top of that, There is nothing else to do besides the summits, which, to be real, you guys probably saw the rewards. I probably won't touch the summits until the end when I can actually get the car, because I don't really feel like getting on to get a window tint or a random underglow that I will probably never use. So I feel like a lot of this is just limiting the amount of content we're getting in these updates. And part of me kind of thinks that maybe they're doing this because they have a lot of the main developers on the next crew game. That's at least what I'm really thinking about. I feel like there's like a skeleton crew working on the updates on this game, or at least that's the way that it feels when we get things like this. Now, is there other things obviously coming? I'm sure there probably is. But as of right now, in the beginning of the season, it's not really looking all that good, man, because I don't want every piece of the update being broken up in the 3 months. Now, I will probably talk about this in a separate video, but changing the seasons to 3 months is a good idea, but the thing is, if you change it to 3 months and then break up the content even more across the 3 months, and getting excited for one race and maybe a few other little things here and there is probably not going to keep people engaged, even if the entire season design is less. The other part of this, though, is the Track Forge. Now, if you get rid of the playlist that was added with the 4 races and the super long hour race, in the beginning of Season 10, you'll obviously have yourself some cars, and also you'll get yourself a couple of upgrades in the Track Forge. Now, guys, the issue I have with the Track Forge, to be 100% honest, is simply down to the fact that I feel like it's too similar, man. I think I'm doing the same races every time, even if it's a different one, as I see the same modules, the same type of turns, the same type of buildings, the same type of things, even in the street and toge thing. I did like 5 races, and to be honest, I was already kind of done with it. I'm like, alright, this is cool, but I can't even matchmake and do these races with players or mess around in the Track Forge with people because there is no way to do it. Like, bro, I don't understand the thought process on some of these things, dude. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but also I have seen other people mention that in the other part of the Track Forge update, how everything just feels too similar, way too quick with how you can create things in it. So maybe it isn't just me, but when I'm looking at this season, though, going, okay, so we have a couple of races, we got a few cars, and to be honest, guys, the cars really don't get me excited at all. Now, that's not because I don't care for any of them. It's more of the fact of, well, that's kind of part of it, but also there's nothing to really do with the cars, as I'm not just going to cruise around the map in them. Just being real there. There's kind of not a reason to do that, at least for me anyway. And then on top of it, there's nothing else you could do with the main multiplayer modes or any type of modes to use the cars. And a lot of players also use the custom mode design in the playlist, which in the current playlist, you can't even do the custom mode because you have to wait for the entire thing to be done in another 2 months after this update is finished and we're into the next season, man. I'm just kind of like, okay, that's kind of a long time, bro. And you have to keep people engaged that entire time, and we're just going to get one race a week. I don't know, man. I keep thinking about this stuff because, to be real, no game is actually doing the live service thing very good, at least in the racing genre. Bro, even Forza has a ton of issues. So anyone's that might end up coming through and going, Block, you're just a Forza, you're just glazing Forza. It's like, bro, to be real, Forza has its own issues in a lot of places, and the festival playlist in that game has its own issues as well with the FOMO and the way, all that stuff, dude. It is not perfect in that game whatsoever, but when looking at all of that and then looking at the way they're giving us content in Motorfest, I'm like, how is any of this going to compete with anything else that's coming out? I mean, we know GTA 6 is coming, we know Beam is coming, got some other racing games coming on top of that like Clutch, and who knows what else might release. But to be real, the current update structure, and the insane part to me is I've talked about this years ago with Motorfest, but the current update structure, man, I don't understand it whatsoever, and I don't really feel like the way they're doing this right now with the 3-month season and the drip-fed playlist, I really do not see this actually working that well, or at least the way they want it to, as there's just not a lot of stuff going on, bro. Like, being real, Season 10 for me, the beginning of it, guys, this has to be one of the most underwhelming updates I think I have seen in this game so far, and to be real, a lot of the other ones also were not that great, but this one seems to be even less in so many areas, man, and honestly, I just don't understand it. Because they're trying to get players in there, this really does not seem like the way. But do let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I am curious. I could probably keep yapping about this, but to be real at this point, I have seen so many people, other creators, saying a lot of similar things that I have years ago on this game and different things. And to see all of it being talked about more now makes me go, dang. So I guess I was kind of ahead of the entire curve of what is going on here.